find it hard to actually believe that it has been 9 years. I see you out there, and we are grateful for you. We are so grateful. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. Here we go. It is going to be another amazing show, if I don't say so myself. I am your host, Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professionals. It is the interview series. Yes, we mentioned it. It's been around 9 whopping years, and you've been giving us love and comments and following. I've had the honor of featuring the most brilliant, beautiful, and amazing and knowledgeable guests from all over our globe. Over 1,000 of them at this point. I am just thrilled and honored that I have been able to spend some of my journey in life doing that. Today we have Maureen. She is an emotional energy healer and a medical intuitive who helps people understand the deeper emotional roots of their pain and guides them towards feeling whole and at peace again. And I think one of the most important things about when we go through something is honoring and acknowledging and allowing ourselves whatever amount of time it is needed with that actual feeling. I think it is when we run and hide from the pain or when we try to avoid it that we miss the opportunity to really completely heal. And smile and shine back on the other side, a better version of ourselves. So, Maureen, you're doing great work in the world, and I welcome you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Yeah.
So tell us, how did this become your focus and your purpose?
Wow. Great question. Sorry. Apologize. Real early in the morning here. My speaking voice is just getting woken up. Yeah. I look at why I'm here, what it is that brought me here. And it's because I have spent a lifetime of wanting to heal my body and looking at many alternatives, options, and ways to make that happen. And the very first path that I traveled down, which most of us do, is healthcare, medical healthcare. They're great. Don't get me wrong. I believe in that holistic healthcare, which is part of medical healthcare. So I founded the Canadian Organization for Rare Disorders, believing that if I could access pharmaceutical research, encourage them to do research into a rare disorder that I was diagnosed with,
Mhm.
then I would eventually find that cure I had so desperately been looking for. So why the cure? Because I'd always felt sick and lethargic and achy and in pain and just had no energy. And I was only in my, 20s, early 30s, and not able to continue with my particular career I had chosen. However, what brought me here to today is I came to realize that there was no research happening, that I remained in that sick sector and continued to be sick.
Mhm.
Once I was pushed out of that sector, because that's the only way I'd get out was by being pushed, I discovered that I could heal my own body through
Mm.
connecting within myself and finding out what am I holding on to? What is causing me to feel this way? And what emotions are within me that is causing disease and illness and achiness.
Mhm. I love that. And, I've met with and had so many amazing guests with different modalities and different things that they have gone through in their personal experiences. And we'll share with you that, remember, this is a podcast. We are sharing love and journey stories and our knowledge and our experiences. We're not giving you medical, legal, or financial advice. So if you need something or something's going on with you, go see an expert, be a grown up, and take care of those things just the way you should. But I love hearing, and I also do believe, and I heard something today actually in my book club that I was sharing with you before we got on, that there's this exercise you could do where you can say, wouldn't it be nice if my body easily released the weight that wasn't using or nurturing, and wouldn't it be nice if my metabolism was a healthy, a strong, and productive metabolism. And wouldn't it be nice if my hormones were all perfectly balanced and I felt, beautiful and energetic and healed? And then the thing that was the exercise, but the thing they said later was, excuse me, because it's not our job to be the cell police, right? To decide, I'm not going to decide which, it, as I do release weight with exercise and eating healthy, or even making some of these positive statements, it's not, my body doesn't check with me and say, Jessica, you're going to lose 5 pounds now. Were you thinking, these group of cells or this group of cells that we would release, or flush out or process, or get rid of? Did you want to vote on that? No, it doesn't ask me that. So I think that that's beautiful, and I do believe that we have the ability to encourage ourselves to. I just imagine, since I don't know all the medical stuff, going back to the original creation, when God created me, the best, most perfect version of this beautiful body that He created. That I'm moving back towards the most perfect original, the original Jessica.
Yeah, and the thing is just remember that we're never perfect. We are on this earth to find ourselves,
Mm,
to heal ourselves, to grow through our mistakes and through things that create and give us knowledge and the ability to learn and become better each moment of each day. And I
mm,
just want to add that I had a near-death experience,
mm,
and my background is logistics, so logic, linear thinking. I had a near-death experience, died on the operating table twice, went to the other side, which the veil is like right in front of us. It's right here. The other side is not up there somewhere. It's right here.
mhm,
The universe exists vastly, and our Earth is just a very small dot in the middle of it all.
mm,
In addition, after I was taken off of life support, I had a spiritual experience where a spirit appeared in my hospital room. Now, let's go back to I was that logic, linear thinking person. However, in that moment in time, I knew that that was truth. And the
mm,
spirit, I was praying, help, I can no longer fight to live, because that's what I was doing. I was fighting to live because I was septic. And
mm,
the spirit put her hand out and said, "Give it to me." I'd been taught that, to do that. Excuse me. And I did. I gave her what I was fighting to live for. And the next day, the RN, excuse me, was removing or replacing the dressing on my wound. And she said, "Look how well she's healing."
mm,
Yes, medical healthcare supported me to that level and afterwards. And yet I came to realize that healing happens on a multiple level once we release and let go and allow the universe, the healing power of the universe, the
mm.
divine God, to heal our bodies. It knows how to heal itself quite very naturally.
Well, we're also made up of a ton of water, so if you need a sip, take a sip. But your story is beautiful and inspiring. And one of the other meditations I do is, and by the way, whatever your faith or your belief system, or how you deal with the spiritual side, or not deal with the spiritual side of your life, we love and embrace you at all walks of life, all thoughts and modalities in that situation. Um, so we don't want you to feel turned off or disconnected. I think the majority believe in something bigger than us,
Mm.
must have created everything, whatever it is, or however you go about the rest of that is a beautiful choice. And that was the thing I'm listening to. So I'm listening to manifesting, a meditation that's called Manifesting with the Angels, from time to time. And one of the things they said, and one of the things I love, and I do believe, in my personal belief system, that part of real, true, beautiful love is free choice. And one of the things that it goes through in this, like, there's a little bit of an education before you actually do the meditation, is it says, that the angels are always here for you, but we do need to ask them to help us. because they're here for us, but it is our choice if they help us or not. So we can always ask for that help. It's always there for us if we wanted it. And it was like the same thing. You were asking for help, and then there it was. And you
Mhm.
said something about we're not perfect, and it's true, we do make mistakes and things, but it's funny, I'm finding this. Yes, and like we make mistakes, and we are also wholly and completely beautifully perfect in this moment.
Mhm. Okay.
Because I do also feel like everything that I've struggled with. I've been doing this. My husband and I designed together using some people who made affirmations, and just some of our own feelings, and kind of molded them all together. So some of these might be like, someone might say, oh, that's from that book. Well, maybe it is, I don't know. My husband and I came up with them together jointly from different things we had heard over time. And one of the pieces says, my every desire, goal, and need is met instantaneously. And I was really struggling with that statement for a long time because, well, here I am. I've still got goals that I'm achieving for. So I don't know about this instantaneously thing, but it was like you were saying, like the veil is right there. It's all there and ready for me now in this moment. I'm just getting to the place where I'm open to receive it and prepared and ready for
Mhm.
all of it to come in, even though instantly it is here. So I think all of this is super fascinating stuff. So tell us a bit more about who comes to you and where they are in their process, and like what transformation you're looking for. And then we'll kind of start talking about how you work with them to receive that transformation. So who's coming? Who's knocking on Maureen's door?
The people that come to me are those that are looking to heal their body, those that have sought out every type of modality, healthcare, etc., for the pain and the disease that they're experiencing in their bodies, and
Mm,
not finding that cure, not finding, a way to feel better.
mm,
And they come to me looking for a way to heal their bodies on an emotional level.
mm,
And when I work with them, they come with those physical issues. And as a medical intuitive, the way that I feel them is I feel their hurt, their pain in my body, which allows me to pinpoint exactly where they're feeling their pain. Now,
mm,
some come to me believing it's this or feeling that or whatever, um, because that's what they've been learned or told or understand. And I actually pinpoint exactly where that pain is, and then they have aha moments. So I had a client who I was going to have a session with her in about 24 hours, and I had this continual headache, pounding headache, and I never, hardly ever get headaches. And,
mhm,
I was trying to discern, what is this? Where is this headache coming from? What am I doing? What do I need to do differently? Do I need more fresh air? What is it that's going on? What is
mhm,
happening within me? And then I came to realize, oh my goodness, this is not me. And the next day I met with her, and the first thing I said, do you experience migraines? And the answer was yes. It was
mm,
her, not me. And yet she'd come to me for the pain she had in her body. And the very first thing was the migraines. So, what are migraines based in? And it really depends on each individual person because we have different DNA and RNA. We have experienced different, beliefs that we've got from others, our peers, our religions. Everybody experiencing differently. We hear differently, we understand differently, and we're taught differently. And our cultures also determine how we feel and understand about things. So everybody is different. I don't use one modality. I have been given the gift of being able to hear people's energy in their body and help them create a feeling language and then guide them through that so that they may learn how to express their pain, sensations, and disease on an emotional level using those feeling words.
wow, you have to be really careful to keep yourself zipped up and not overexposed, because you could end up with your hair follicles hurting
You know,
from head to toe.
That's interesting, and that is something I've learned along the way is, what's mine, what's yours, and I use this thing where This is yours and this is mine, to
Mm,
give that visual separation for me. And I'm not always aware. It takes sometimes a while that, oh, just a minute, this is not my stuff. And I don't want to hold on to it. What I've learned is that when I hold on to other stuff, as most of us do, because we try to help
mhm,
people, if we're heart-centered people, our goal
mm,
is to help heal and help people help to make them feel better. We cannot do
mhm,
that. That is their choice and their choice alone. I can just guide them to that. So I've had to learn to separate myself so that I don't continually feel ill and illness and sick and,
mhm,
and uncomfortable, and learn how to do that. And with my very, very first client, I was taught through, we're kind of moving on here, I was taught how to coach and teach through the Louise Hayes philosophy.
I don't know this
And yeah, it's, her philosophy is heal your life.
one.
And it's based in love, acceptance, and uh, very much affirmations. And
Mm,
again, back to my very first coaching client, I saw an energy connection,
mm,
physically saw an energy cord attached to her. I'd never experienced that in my life. And honestly, I wasn't sure how to navigate that. I wasn't
mhm,
sure how to say what I was seeing.
mm.
Um, Eventually we did, and the rest of the sessions were based in emotional energy healing. Again, energy. We all have energy.
Yeah, and it's all connected too, for
Yes,
sure.
yes, yeah.
Well, I didn't ask you beforehand, so, you're allowed to say no even though we're live. But I didn't realize you operated at this in this way. Like, I understood that you were helping people, like, process their stuff, but I've heard about that in, like, a million different ways, and I didn't realize you had this cool, connection. So am I allowed to put you on the spot a little bit for
Sure,
something
go
that
ahead.
and let's give them a live mini demo. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this will work. Maybe it won't. Here we are
Okay.
live. So I'm very healthy. I don't take any medications. I don't. I'm 52 and fabulous, and I have nothing really going on. Although I have been working. Very decidedly to release pounds that are not serving me. And I eat very high protein. I occasionally have, in very small moderation, something that's a carb or something that's a sweet. But I would say a good, really strong, somewhere between 70, 80% are very high protein, vegetables and fruit, very healthy. Very little juice in my life. I don't drink soda. I don't smoke. I don't if I have a drink, it's of alcohol. I'm a legal age, so it's illegal for me to say that here. But maybe 3 times a month, and in really moderation. I never get to the point where I'm like really silly or ridiculous or sick. So I'm thinking, and it is my own intuition that. So I've been doing meditation on my hormones balancing themselves and maybe whatever. I don't know what it is, and I don't know that I can connect it to a trauma, or I don't know if you feel any of
You know
that.
what it is?
Is
First of all, changing your words, Jessica. And I
mm,
already feel something in your body since you've opened your energy field to me.
yeah.
I can just naturally connect when you said, I want this to happen. So, first of all, changing your words. When you say, I don't know, that shuts your brain
Mhm.
down. I'm
Oh,
not sure.
oh, I am not sure.
I'm not sure right now.
Hmm.
And instead of creating tunnel vision of balancing my hormones, doing this, doing this, doing this, I'm doing all this, why is it not working? Ask your body, what is
Mm,
it, body, that you need? The thing is, we always listen to logic, linear thinking. We always put our minds to work first and go, mind, what do I need? And all that does is ever keeps you safe, because it only bases any answer on what you've learned, what you've experienced, triggers, trauma, education,
mhm,
whatever. It doesn't base it on what your body is physically feeling. It doesn't
mm,
base it on an emotion. It bases on logic. That is not how your body works. Yes, your head, your heart, and your gut connect through a neural network and microbiome system. However, your body speaks to you. And as you were speaking, what I felt from your body, and just listen and allow it to resonate and decide whether or not you feel it's right for you, is I feel, and I believe it's the left kidney, It's just right beside, it is the left kidney. I feel that there is a sensation there close to your spine. And I'm not exactly sure what your kidney is saying right at this moment. We would have to take the time to listen,
Mm,
and you listen and allow your body to express to you, what emotions am I holding there that is causing that sensation? You know, is there anything you can connect to at this moment? Because I guide you. You know, I may hear and I may feel. My goal is to teach. My goal is to guide you to, here's what I'm feeling, what's
mm.
happening in your body. Allow your body to speak. So I teach you the ability to listen to your body's sensations and emotions and feelings.
Well, it's fascinating because when I was making breakfast this morning, even though I was making farm fresh eggs that literally came from a local farm nearby and all very good things, I was also thinking this is too much food for me. But then my other part of my brain said, "Oh, but I want to be full until lunch." So I've been feeling over full. And then when you mentioned the kidney, fascinating enough, as I used to have urinary tract infections like all the time, but then it stopped happening. And the excuse the doctor gave me and everything is I had had so many surgeries and catheters, there was scar tissue and blah blah blah. But then they just stopped and never ever came back again. And the only other thing I can think of when I was telling you, when you were saying, not to say that I don't know, but that I'm not sure, my brain did right away say, "You are sure." Because you do know, and I did watch my parents, um, both of them, uh, make food a big treat and really overeat. And so, I mean, I even remember my father sitting in his recliner watching television with a giant bag of candy just next to his chair, and all of the big were Italians, and all the big happy moments were about how big and fancy is the cake, how amazing is the meal, how homemade is the pasta, how everything was, a
It
celebration.
sounds very much like a judgment on the food that you were eating. And I love it. Like, even though I'm not Italian, I come from a German family. We are Germans from Russia. My great grandparents moved to Russia in the late 1800s.
Mm,
And yeah, you know what it sounds like, that food has brought your family together. Same with us. When we get together as a family, we get together around food. We make homemade food.
mhm,
We have a dish, it's called nifla. It is homemade, basically homemade noodles, basic
mhm.
noodles, right from scratch, right? Put it
Mhm.
together with flour, eggs, all of
Flour,
that.
yep, that
Yeah.
pasta homemade from
And
scratch, got it.
and we live, we come all of us create it together, all of
Mhm,
us make it together, all of us eat it together. We surround ourselves, our family, based in food. So I get that food, and it's, I mean, I have a niece now that does make those wonderful cakes, which blows us away. She has that innate ability to create, beautiful, pastries like my mom used to.
but what
And I hear you.
I didn't tell you was with my parents, there was a
Mhm.
great trauma when my
Mm.
my sons were in elementary school, and, that isn't it's forgivable, and I wish them well, but it isn't repairable. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't been able to come back together with them. So,
And sometimes that happens, and, that's a lot, that's a huge loss, and I'll tell you,
mhm,
kidneys, and what I see in your kidney is the top. Let me just give you a visual because it's showing me this. There's a nodule that
mm,
you were holding on to some deep, deep, um, deep grief, deep, well, to use not you're rather pissed off. So let's just, and it's a nodule in top. Let me just get the direction, just a minute. Top, it's on the left kidney, top right side of the kidney. I see a nodule there that is affected, inflamed, and you've held it all in that one area, so it no longer goes, dispersing through the UTI, the urinary tract.
mhm.
So, yeah, that's what I see. And really, you know what? It takes a good half hour to 45 minutes, if not more, to basically uncover what's in there, because you're going to uncover a lot. And
Yeah,
I
and
don't
it's
feel that it
funny,
can be done here.
I feel like I've done so much work in this area where I do lots of forgiving exercises, and if anything comes up or something occurs that makes me think it or feel it again, I reprocess the exercises, I
So just
journal.
ask yourself, what emotion are you holding there? Give it a name. Give
Yeah.
it a name.
I guess it's a bit of frustration
Mm,
because I'm at a point where I would like to, at least have phone conversations with them and still be a bit
mhm.
piece of their life myself. But I'm frustrated because even though they're the ones that made the bad choice, they are acting like it was almost that we're in this situation because of me. Because initially I had to, for the safety of my children and my family,
Yep,
separate from them, and
absolutely.
so they put that back on me, and so they're still not in a healthy place. So I'm in a healthier place and ready to do these other things, and I'm feeling and I've invited them in to do that, still in a protected, responsible way. Yeah, because I have children and family to think about.
Yes.
But they're still the parents that I believe I chose, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm on the same theory of that is I
yeah,
chose to be born into this family because
yeah,
when I'm born into a family and just to share something, my mom and I had what I consider a toxic relationship. I was raised in criticism. Her objective for criticism was to change the behavior that she didn't like to see in me and reflect to the world that I was perfect and that her life was perfect and that everything was beautiful and perfect. She created the most beautiful clothes. She was an amazing seamstress, and I had the
mm,
most beautiful clothing, and, you know, lots my closet was full of homemade, wonderful, amazing clothes. So she was trying to create an external persona when the
mm,
internal part of her was very much hurt,
mm,
and she's never dealt with that. So she was trying to create a daughter who was the perfect part of what she could never experience as in her lifetime.
mm,
So, family does hurt a lot
mm,
of times. When we don't deal with our stuff, we it's easy to point to others,
mm,
and many people do that. I used to do that, Jessica. I came to the point in my life where, yeah, you know what? Others have hurt me. There's no question. I look at it now, what can I learn from them? What triggers
mm,
in me that I felt hurt? I take my stuff first, my responsibility first. I'm not saying that they've done me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not taking responsibility for their stuff. I just look at me first. What have I done for me?
mm.
What have I taken care of? You took care of your family, Jessica,
I did.
and you had to physically separate yourself from your parents. Now,
Mm,
that was a good choice. It was probably the
mhm,
best choice for your family, for your children. However,
mhm,
you did that intellectually. You did that through your brain. Your body
mhm,
still holds on to and experiences those emotions because we in society, especially North Americans, especially the northern part of our societies, have only been taught how to understand from our head. We've
mm,
never been taught to understand how our bodies express and experience pain, trauma, words, etc. And we're never taught how to understand them, connect to them, create awareness, and then listen to them, and then
mm,
release them, because we are only taught to hold on to them and ignore them, and
mm,
even to not even really process them on any level. So when
mm,
we don't do that, our body continues to hold on to it. I'm going to give you a quote. It's not a direct quote. This created the ha moment. This was I knew I was going to create a business to help people with emotional healing. Sorry. I apologize. With
It's okay.
emotional healing, the springboard that really helped me determine that I was going to create my company called Head to Heart was when I read the book by Dr. Christian Northrup. She is a retired OBGYN from the US who decided to quit the mainstream healthcare for her patients and go and create another business for herself
Mm,
based in an emotion. She
mm,
quotes in her book where she says, "Goddesses never age. Quit stuffing your emotions in the connective tissue and energy system for a lifetime." Well, guess what? I was diagnosed at 29 years old with a connective tissue disorder.
mm,
I went, whoa, just a second. I've been stuffing my emotions for a lifetime. And I
mm,
went, just a second. I was diagnosed by a geneticist. They said it was genetic. Whoa, hold it. How many generations before me did the same thing and stuffed their
mm,
emotions the connective
Mm,
tissue. Henceforth, I became what I call mutated and created what they could now in medical healthcare diagnose this genetic connective tissue disorder. Once I came to realize all that, I went, I am the catalyst to heal generations of my family and
mm.
to not allow the generations after me to experience what I've gone through and generations before us, their great grandmas, their grandmas and grandpas, and change the expression of my genes. Where did I get that from? Dr. Bruce Lipton, microbiologist. He was one of the team who discovered the genome. He also walked
Mm.
away from mainstream practice because he did researched and put, well, I'm not sure exactly which cells, but I'll just grab a couple. So a bone cell and a brain cell in a petri dish. Well, guess what? One became the other. They coexisted together. This is when he decided and discovered back to we can change the expression of our genes. We have that innate ability. Back to what you said perfectly. We are perfectly made because our bodies perfectly know how to heal themselves. We just need to allow it to do so by gaining that information and truly connecting and listening to our body's messages.
I love that. I've been doing for over a year now, maybe more, maybe several years. In my meditation, I'm sometimes very specifically doing generational healing exercises for past, present, and future. And I've had several experiences where I was so deep in that meditation, I genuinely felt like I could hear or feel the gratitude from my ancestors of the past as well as from the future. Say thank you for the work that you're doing because it's making a difference,
Yes.
you know. And so yeah, so I've done I'm always going to keep doing that work, and I am going to pay more attention to my body. And I do love that you gave me those few minutes. And if you're thinking, well, I need way more time with her, because that's what I'm thinking, um, how would they go about doing that? Where would they find you? Are they going to be working one-on-one only? Is it group opportunities? Like, give us a little more of a picture of when someone comes to you, what's the first step? And then where might their journey lead from there to get this healing?
Right. Well, the first step is, yeah, go to my website and there's a couple of options. The first one on there is an emotional energy healing
Mhm.
session, which we would spend a minimum of 45 minutes together to similar work how I did with Jessica to connect her to what I am feeling is affecting her body and it's still affecting my back. I just want to let you know I can still feel it, Jessica.
I'm sorry.
But so it's something that needs to be released for you, for you.
Yeah.
And after this, I will just give you back your energy and we will release it and then you will be you. So anyway, they can connect with me through that and we can have our first session. Or if they still want to get to know me, understand who I am, book a meeting with me. It's a
Mhm.
free, it won't be a session because, my time is valuable, such as
Of
your
course.
time is valuable, right? And they can book through me with me that way. I do also, and it's probably going to be a very minimal one. I offer a workshop called the Mind Body Connection. It's free. Come and experience what that looks like, what it means. I give interactive um, part of the workshop to learn how to connect to the mind, the heart, and the gut. I give you a process to do that, and then we have a question and answer at the end of the presentation.
I love that.
So that's another way to do that. And I'm looking at developing a once a month group where we can come together and just share and become vulnerable. And again, that learning process of feeling our feelings, creating that feeling language, and understanding how our body shares messages with us.
And let's talk about, where is your website? Give them the actual
Oh,
address.
it's www.headtoheart.ca.
Headtoheart.ca. And the two is spelled out TO. Head
It
to
is. Thank you.
headtoheart.ca. She's in the beautiful country of Canada. So you want to make sure you keep that in mind. Head to heart.ca. And that two is the actual word two, not the number two. So thank you for sharing that. And is there anything else they should know about your website or coming to find you? Just, maybe
Yeah,
have that.
on my website, I share my stories of dealing with disease and emotions. And one of them, Jessica, is UTIs. Because I, like you, I had many years of having UTIs. And once I dealt with the emotions and I used natural product, I was using cranberry pills in addition, because I don't believe it's one or the other. Again, the holistic with the W I'd mentioned earlier, I believe we need to utilize all of it. Look at our grandparents. What did they use to heal their body? The natural products that came from the earth that did not have the pesticides that we have on them today.
Yeah.
Growing a garden, getting on your hands and knees and pulling the weeds and find the natural. So everything comes together. So I've
Mm,
shared a lot of my injuries, diseases, and experiences on my website.
mm,
I write in first person. And it's my experience and how I dealt with them, the beginning, middle, and end of how I
mhm,
dealt with them, utilizing a lot of times the processes that Louise Hay has taught me, the probable cause, the reasons behind, the probable cause, and then how I dealt with it, and then the outcomes dealing with it, like taking accountability for
mm.
my own personal emotional feeling.
That is a good step, and that sounds like something I need to focus on too, is letting go of what I watch my parents do and take more accountability for myself as well. Although I keep making good food choices, so I am proud of me in that department. So,
You
all
know what,
right, how
Jessica?
about?
I want to just tell you there is nothing wrong with snacks.
Hmm.
You don't need to fill yourself up to here and then
Hmm.
wait 5 hours to eat again or for 5 hours.
Yeah,
I I eat every 2 to 3 hours something.
yeah.
That's just how my body, rhythm works. So I'm going to ask for you to pay attention. That has been your norm. That has been a pattern to fill
Mm,
yourself up. Ask your body what it needs.
yeah.
What's the reason you don't want to give it a snack?
Well, most of the time I just get busy. I tend to eat one, maybe twice a day at best. So I eat one really good solid high protein meal, and then if I have a piece of fruit or a snack or a cup of tea or something later, then that's typically it. Because I also find that I don't process food as well later in the day. So I've been
Well,
listening
you'll
to
be
my
less.
body,
I
and
agree. I agree with that. You'll be less fuller though. It will. The less you put in your system, the
mm,
easier it is to process it. Does that
that's
make
true.
sense? That's like our mind. The less we fill our mind up with, the easier it is to process. Does that
Hmm.
make sense?
It does. I want to get rid of this thing. It's stuck in my mind that's sitting on my liver, though. I need that to go away. But really, I need to focus so that you can give everyone an amazing tip today.
The tip, and I've been saying it all along, is pause. Take the time to truly listen to your body. And now you're all saying, well, my body doesn't speak. You're right, it doesn't have a mouth. So, have you experienced pain, sensations, or even a diagnosable disease? That's your body's way of speaking to you. And ask it, what am I feeling right now? What emotion am I holding on to? Take the time throughout the day, each day, to do that for yourself. And you'll be amazed how your body starts to heal itself.
Mm, I love that. That is a good advice. Take a moment and pay attention. All right. How about a cause you care about, Maureen?
A cause that I care about deeply is the safety of women who are caught in abusive
Mhm.
relationships
That's a good one.
and the ability to provide a place, space, and a system for them to
Mm.
overcome and find themselves once again in a safe place.
That's beautiful. I love that. And everybody deserves and is valuable, and they deserve a safe and wonderful and beautiful place where they can bloom and grow. Because when we feel safe, we have that opportunity to begin to shine and be the best version of ourselves. So I love that. How about a book that inspired your personal life or helps you grow your business? Now you mentioned a few earlier, but we're gonna pin you for a couple more.
Oh my goodness,
At
I have
least
so many
one.
books as I look around. Oh, goodness sake. I guess another one. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my books back here because I've read them.
Mhm.
Mind over matter. I'm just going to grab it real quick. Mind over matter. Um,
Mm.
yeah. mind over matter, or mind over matter, mind over medicine,
Mm,
scientific proof that you can heal yourself. And I
mm.
base what I do, what I teach, in science. I bring Harvard research.
Mm.
Yeah, I have another study where I bring forward from a Dr. Glaren and his colleagues who identified 13 emotions that affect our body. So mind over medicine.
Yeah, you know what? I'm more and more believing that the more minds, the better. So, for example, I've definitely been in many experiences where someone sits in a chair in the room and a small group of people put their hands on this person. And, they all have a focused purpose in mind for health and well being and love and energy. And I'm listening to this book called Tapping the Source, and it talks about a study that was done in Princeton, and they took 10 years, even though they kept getting positive results. It wasn't what they were trying to disprove it. So they took 10 years still trying to say, no, 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 this is wrong. Somehow we're making a mistake here. There's something wrong with this evidence. But the evidence showed that when one person or multiple people that didn't know each other in different spaces, were by themselves, were focused on this piece of equipment. It was equipment that was designed to put out the same number of zeros and the same number of ones always. And the mind was able to affect the fact that it, had more ones than zeros. Well, then they did the study later after 10 years of still trying to say, well, maybe it's a faulty goal. They just kept trying, that our minds really do have power over things. And then they put couples who were really in love, or people relationships who were really in love together, and it tripled the result of the mind affecting this what shouldn't have been able to be affected, right?
Mhm.
It wasn't organic. It was it wasn't bio, it was
It was
electronic.
all energy is what it is,
It
and
is
love is a high frequency energy.
Yes, and so when I imagine is, we just talked about your book that says, mind over medicine. If we as an individual can sit, meditate, and work on and have the power of using our mind to be the best version of ourselves, and healthy and powerful and strong, then can you imagine if 10 or 50 or 100 people, mentally or even physically put their hands on you and all had a focused thought of optimum health and healing and wellness and wonderfulness, how powerful that might be. Now, again, we are sharing our stories and our ideas. Go see a doctor if you need a doctor. We're not giving you legal or medical advice, but I just, that idea excites me. That makes me feel like that's why I love the what do they call it, the movements, or the groups that get together and they do like hands across America, or at this moment, in on this day, they organize where thousands and thousands of people are going to have like a positive thought or prayer for XYZ, just for the well-being of our world or whatever, right? And I've heard of things like that organized and done. And what, another one, a good example, and it's coming in March, is International Women's Day, or is it International Women's Day or National Women's Day? It's a big Women's Day. It's Women's Day. I don't know, but it's a day for the girls, man. It's Girls' Day, and I love that because there's so many people putting on. I know one's trying to break Kimberly Crow is trying to break the Guinness Book of World Records for the amount of people on and there's all these people putting together summits and hundreds of women coming together. And I just think that that amount of mind power and energy coming together is just so, so beautiful. So just imagine what you could do with Maureen, for yourself, and then think about how that can be amplified. I just think that that's an exciting, exciting thought. So okay, now off my rampage, books. Let's talk about the books that you've been involved in, some books, but you also have some books on in the plan.
Right, there's a book behind me here called Heart Notes, and I'm an author in the book, published part of the book. I'm published in part of the book, and I'm in the process of putting together information to publish 3 books.
Mm,
And, I haven't quite figured out the cover other than something came to me a little while ago is I did that. I
mm,
experienced that. What's
mm.
next?
I love that. I love that. And I love that it's a 3. It's a powerful number 3.
Mm.
And when I'm working on a series of 7 historical fiction novels, and I just knew it needed to be 7. Like when the storyline and the main piece of the story came to me in a dream, when I woke up, I knew it was 7 novels that were coming out of this movie I got to watch in my mind in my dreams. So it's fascinating how beautiful the mind is and all the cool things it does with creativity and with love. So so that's really cool. All right. Well, this has been fun, Maureen. I hope you've had fun. I'm still a little concerned about my liver, but we'll.
It's your kidney. It's your
Oh, kidney,
kidney.
kidney.
Kidney. Yeah.
All right, my liver's good.
Well, you know what? That's just one area that really spoke to me,
Yeah.
It's just, it's layers. You peel off one layer and underneath there's so much more. And that's what I do. I get to that root. So
Well,
if you're
hopefully I
really
can
concerned, let's connect. Let's figure it out.
mentally we'll just hopefully I'll just wash it away and flush and release.
Remember, it's not the mental, it's the physical and the emotional.
That's right.
Your mind can't make it better. Your body can.
Yeah, yeah, but doesn't the mind help heal the body? Isn't that what we were talking about?
It's a combination of the head, heart, and gut because they do work together. Did you know that the heart and the gut speak more to the brain than in reverse?
Yeah, I did hear about that. I think recently I was somewhere and they were just talking about how we receive more from the gut and the heart and our bodies to our brain than the brain actually sends out uh, signals to the rest of the body. So,
And it's a proven scientific fact
well,
that that's how it works.
it's apparently an important fact for me to receive because I've just heard it recently multiple times in a row. I think we also should pay attention to that too. What information is coming our way in multiples is sometimes I believe is sometimes a message to me. So it has been a joy to get to know you and your process and learn about the valuable resource that you provide people in feeling whole and peaceful again. I'm so glad you were on the show. I hope you enjoyed it too.
I did, absolutely. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share and just have a wonderful conversation and being vulnerable enough to, ask the question, "What are you feeling in my body?" And then I'm going to reverse it. What are you feeling in your body?
I'm feeling actually pretty happy. A little worried based on what you pointed out, but I'm gonna work through that emotion and come up with the best solution. So if you're out there thinking, wait, I've written books, I have an amazing process, I can help someone grow their business, fill their bank account, or live the best version of their lives and be the best versions of themselves. Well, come on, get yourself scheduled on our show. Reach out to us and our team, and we'll tell you just what to do to get that done. Um, and before we go here, I would love for you to share with us a final thought.
Final thought today. When you feel stressed, upset, or concerned about something, someone, or even yourself, spend time in silence. Take that time to really find out what that is based in. And typically, when you have concerns or worry, yeah, you can think about it. Today, feel about it. Really connect and feel those feelings and give it at least just one emotional word. And it would help you understand why you are feeling what you're feeling and experiencing.
I love that. Give yourself a minute and check in on how you feel. That's super beautiful. Until the next one, I'm your host, Jessica Koch, and this has been Profound Professionals. Be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.